This lesson is 8.2 on finding multiples of fractions. We'll go ahead and do numbers 4, 6, and 7. Okay, so first of all, the directions say list the next 4 multiples of the fraction. So we know that 5 tenths times 1 is 5 tenths. So then if we do 5 tenths times 2, that is 10 tenths. And then 5 tenths times 3 is 15 tenths. 5 tenths times 4 is 20 tenths. And 5 tenths times 5 is 25 tenths. All right, number 6, it says write the product, which is the answer when you multiply, of a whole number and a unit fraction. So first of all, we need to find the fraction greater than 1, or the improper fraction. So we're going to multiply straight across. So 5 wholes always has a denominator of 1. So we're going to multiply straight across, and we'll do 5 times 2, which is 10, and then 1 times 3, which is 3. So that gives us an improper fraction, or a fraction greater than 1. Now we have to turn that into a product of a whole number and a unit fraction. So we know product is the answer right there when you multiply of a whole number and a unit fraction. We also know that a unit fraction always has a numerator of 1, and we're going to just use the same denominator, which is 3. So now we go and we think 10/3 times what? 1/3 times what equals 10/3? And I know that 1 times 10 is 10. So that is our whole number. So our answer is 10 times 1/3. That is our product, which is the answer when you multiply, of a whole number and a unit fraction. So 10 times 1/3. Now let's look at number 7. We have a word problem, so we're going to do cube. Jessica is making 2 whole loaves of banana bread. She needs 3/4 of a cup of sugar for each loaf. Her measuring cup only holds 1/4 cup of sugar, which is a unit fraction. How many times will Jessica need to fill the measuring cup in order to get enough sugar for both loaves of bread? Okay, so first of all, we are going to make 2 loaves of bread, and she needs 3/4 for each loaf. So we are going to do 3/4 2 times, or 2 times 3/4. And again, when we multiply anything with the whole number, the denominator of a whole number is always going to be 1, and we'll just multiply straight across. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 4 is 4. So that gives us our fraction greater than 1. But now we need to know how many times is she going to use that 1/4. So how many times will she use the 1/4? So how many times 1/4? So 6/4 equals what times 1/4? We know that 1 times 6 is 6/4. So that gives us our whole number. So the answer is 6 times. So we would write 6 times. I have that screen blocking mine, so 6 times is our answer. I'm just going to put a box around that. Okay, just remember that this is just a continuation of 8.1. We have our fraction greater than 1, and we just then have to take it to multiplying a fraction, a unit fraction, with a whole number, and that's finding the product. You'll do great. This lesson is 10.4 on classifying quadrilaterals. The directions for 1 through 7 say classify each figure as many ways as possible. Write quadrilateral, trapezoid, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, or square. So I like how right underneath quadrilateral it has 4 sides. Right underneath trapezoid it says 1 pair of parallel lines. Parallelogram is 2 pair of parallel lines. Rhombus is, what's the clue for rhombus, everybody?
All equal sides.
All equal sides. Good. And it's a parallelogram. And then rectangle has 2 pair of parallel sides, so write that. And then it has all what kind of angles?
Right.
Yes, good. All right angles. And that's all for rectangle, so write that real fast. And then for square, it's a parallelogram, which means two pair of parallel lines. And it has all right angles. Write that down. All right angles. And it also has all sides are equal. Okay, all sides are equal on the square. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do number 4 and number 7. Okay, number 4 and number 7. Let me choose my color. Okay, so number 4, we're going to start at the top. Remember, a quadrilateral has 4 sides. Does it have 4 sides? Yes, so we're going to write quadrilateral. Okay, now is it a parallelogram or a trapezoid? Remember, our clue for trapezoid is one pair of parallel lines. Are these lines parallel? Yeah, because if you were to continue this line and this line, they'd eventually meet, right? So those are not parallel. And same thing with this direction. They would cross eventually. Okay, so it's just a quadrilateral. That's it. That's its only name. Okay, number 7. All right, here we go. So we're going to always start at the top. So does it have 4 sides?
Yes.
Yes, so its first name is quadrilateral. Okay. All right, is it a trapezoid or a parallelogram?
Parallelogram.
Why is it a parallelogram?
Because it has two pairs of equal.
It does have 2 pairs of equal sides. See these lines here? That means those sides are equal and this side is equal. And it has 2 pair of parallel sides. These are equal distance apart, both of those. So yes, it is a parallelogram. Okay. All right, so parallelogram breaks off into rectangle and rhombus. Is it a rectangle?
No.
It's not because
It doesn't have right angles.
it doesn't have right angles. And is it a rhombus?
Yes. Yes. No. Because it's not all equal
Exactly. No, because it doesn't have all equal sides. So it's not a rhombus either. So its only 2 names are quadrilateral and parallelogram. Okay. Woo! All right, let's look at number 9. Number 9, it's a word problem, so let's do cube. It says, Teresa drew a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides and 4 right angles. What quadrilateral could she have drawn? So we have quadrilateral, it already told us. Okay, so then we go down to parallelogram or trapezoid. Is it a trapezoid?
No.
It's not a trapezoid because it has 2 pairs, so it could be
Parallelogram.
parallelogram. Okay, so let's go down from parallelogram. We have 2 options with the parallelogram. Is it a rectangle or a rhombus?
Rectangle.
Why is it a rectangle?
Has 4 right angles.
It has 4 right angles. Okay.
Square too?
And see, that's my thing. Could it be a square also?
Yeah, it could. So we could.
Why could it be a square also?
Because the square has 4 right angles and it also has 2 pairs of parallel lines.
Perfect. Okay, so it could be a rectangle or a square. Very good. Do you guys feel good about this?
Yes.
Fantastic. You're going to do great. Oh my gosh. Okay.